So hello, so I'm just going to bring you one of my projects that I just completed, and I just want to do some behind the scenes because people always ask me what do I do and what's my process and things like that. So I don't always have the chance to record these things, so I wanted to make sure I bring to life some of the things that I do as far as design. Okay, my name is Howard Eason and I'm the owner of He Designs LLC, which is an interior design firm that does residential and commercial spaces. Okay, so this project is very special and near and dear to me because this lady, oh my gosh, she is a trooper. I mean, she has the heart of gold, and I wanted to make sure I came through for her. Her daughter contacted me, and she had just purchased a townhouse. And so I was hired to make sure that this townhome was spectacular. And I was not going to cut any corners, and I don't anyway. So, by the way, so just to let you know. But anyway, so back to the point is that the daughter contacted me because her mother just purchased a townhome and it needed a whole new makeover. The space is very nice, well lit, but it just has some of the older furniture, and I needed to clear out all the furniture and bring in new elements. So the first part of my process, and that's the planning part, is that I usually send a service request form just to kind of get an idea. You know, it has the address information, it has things that you like and don't like as far as colors, what is your inspiration, all these different things. So of course, with this client, so what it came back to be is that simple enough, that she loves butterflies, beaches, oceans, and of course family. So that's all that I got for this. And I love that because it doesn't box me into just doing one element. It makes me think beyond just the specifics, right? And most clients tend to just look at books and magazines and they just want to replicate what already exists. Well, He Designs likes to create based on out of the box and something new and exciting, of course, by following all the design, you know, concepts and things like that, you know. So we do follow protocol, but as far as the elements and all, we have to personalize it based on each client. So the process starts basically is receiving this form. And once I receive this form, I kind of have a visit. So I did have one visit, and I only had one visit with this client because we're in a pandemic right now and COVID is all over. And so during this time that all of this happened is that it wasn't really safe to have a bunch of meetings and go to different stores and all this. So I wanted to make sure that I visited and gather as much information as possible. So first visit. So instantly I knew that my client was very family oriented, very, you know, spiritual in the sense that she's a faith woman, you know, also that she loved travel and education. So those were the things that I wanted to make sure that the space was conducive. You know, I wanted to make sure that all of these elements would be read very well in the space. So I didn't need any more information, so I could just go from there. This space had these beautiful 2-story windows. I mean, they were absolutely gorgeous, you know. So there were windows on the bottom, windows at the top, which actually you can see from the loft area. The loft area looked down on top of the space. And instantly I knew I wanted to do something special with these windows. So as a part of the planning, I took notes on that. The other things, she had this egg form chair that normally goes outside that she absolutely loved. She had a story behind it, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to reuse that, but it was just too big for the patio. So I knew that I wanted to bring it into this space where I could reinvent it, you know, just add some interior elements to it, such as a new cushion, and bring it right to this bay window. it is perfect for that. Moving on, as far as the other plan, I knew that she had kids and grandkids that always visited. So I wanted to make sure that the furniture was very durable and very sustainable. And I knew that she would not change this furniture very often. So I wanted to go with a very monochromatic design, which means just using one color throughout and then just mixing it up with various textures. The other thing that I knew I wanted to do is add elements of wood, because wood makes a space feel so much warmer. So I was bringing in some wood pieces and real wood pieces. I did not want to do any laminate type pieces or any, those pieces that don't look real. I wanted to make sure that I brought in pieces that were well built, durable, because when you're doing investments in your home, you want to make sure that you have those elements that will sustain everything that it goes to, especially like sofas, your dining tables, your rugs. You want to make sure that those are going to last for some time. Those are your higher investments as well. So you should always consider investing in quality furniture for your areas that you use and that you entertain the most in. So I wanted to make sure that we had furniture that would last. So the other thing is that upstairs, there was no beds. I had to order new beds and all that, but everything is going to be brand new. And so my planning began and I wanted to purchase furniture. So I spent over 2 months just purchasing items, because usually, it doesn't take that long, but because of COVID, there are things that are not as accessible. There are things that you'll have to wait for. There are things that are not available, but it was perfect because the timeline was perfect to getting everything so that we could do this quick install. And it took me only 4 days to do this install. All right, so we are doing this project, and so I only committed to 4 days in doing this. So I've done quite a bit of shopping, probably over 6 to 8 weeks of shopping, just picking up accessories and different furniture. And there was a lot of furniture that actually came boxed because, like I said, we were in a pandemic situation. So furniture, wasn't readily available at a lot of places. So I had to make sure that I shopped online, shopped at different carriers, had things shipped in, and I would just store that until the install date. So imagine a storage just totally filled with all these beautiful items. And I knew that it only required me 4 days to do this. Now, was I pushing to that? Possibly, but no, but I've done it. I've done projects quicker than that. But because this was an out of town project, so it took me about an hour and a half to get to this project from my home location. So I wanted to make sure that I had everything ready, so that will save me time in just, distance traveling, over these days. So let's talk about the process. So basically with the process, we were talking about butterflies and beaches, right? So that just gave me such, I don't know, I was just so excited about that because I wasn't boxed in, and I didn't want to go literal with any of these items, right? I didn't want to just all of a sudden there's butterflies and you see a bunch of color and all these things such as butterfly wings. And I didn't want to go with beaches where you're just sitting looking at pictures of oceans and lakes and rivers and things like that. No, do not go literal. Here's what you can take from that is that in this design, what I wanted to bring forth as far as the beaches is the color. So there was some elements in there that we just repainted, like such as the cabinet. There was a cabinet that I wanted to repurpose, reuse, restore, and it was a basic wood cabinet. I did not like that wood finish, although I love wood, but that one did not read well in the space because the other ones were more darker, like a walnut or a Jacobean or something like that. Some other colors that were just a little bit richer stain. So what I did for that is painted it this aqua color. It's a beautiful kind of in between, like you see these, I don't know if you can see these colors, but like in here, not really blue, not really green, but just in between to remind you of the ocean. So I wanted to paint that cabinet that color. I also used that color in another area, which was the half bathroom, and it was absolutely beautiful and really transformed that space. Now, I needed to ground the space as well because we had these stair railings that were white and they were really boring. They didn't really stand out. So I actually painted those with a black paint, and that really made them stand out. In addition to that, I thought I would use this throughout because I did have furniture that had like this wrought iron effect that's black, elements throughout. So I wanted to make sure that I used that sparingly throughout the entire space. So I did paint a table. I reclaimed the table as well. This table was a little bit beat up, but it was still structurally sound. It still had nice bones, it was a beautiful table. I painted it out and it would look extraordinary. So these were some of my custom pieces that I actually added to the space. Custom meaning that just color alone transformed that element. Okay, so what are the other things that I wanted to do? This is a big one. Those windows that I mentioned, I knew that I wanted to soften those windows by putting a sheer fabric on both sides of the window, just to soften up those corners and add some type of drama into the room. So I got 20 yards of fabric. I mean, that's a lot to make 2 window panels, custom window panels. And basically what I did was I wanted the panels to be 14 feet, right? Each panel. So basically I did the measurements and then I painted it out. I used fabric paint to paint this lattice design because I knew I wanted something special, because from the loft you can see over into the the living room, and you can see the windows up top. So I wanted to make sure that I had some special design that kind of brought you into the space as well. I didn't want anything too boring. I wanted something exciting and something new. So I painted this lattice design and also used grommets. Grommets really make draperies look really modern because they kind of have that nice fold and they look very together, So I painted those. I sent it over to my seamstress, who's very good at sewing, and she has a pretty quick turnaround when I need her. But she sewed these 18-foot drapes for me, and then I had installers to come in to install them for me. It was a most beautiful thing. I had a great time with those guys. They were really great. I have a great team that I work with. Now, as far as the rest of the home, as you walk up the stairs, there is the loft, and the loft was this big, huge, long space, right? And so instantly I thought about doing a sectional, just a running sectional side by side, so that I can take up as much space as possible. Having kids and grandkids, that is the perfect entertaining space. So I wanted to make sure that I brought in a sofa or sectional that can accommodate many people. I also wanted to make it relaxed, so I thought I'd add in like an ottoman, a tufted ottoman, so that you can put your feet on. But I also added a tray so that if you do have things such as drinks, that it would have a solid surface to sit on. Right? Across from that, I custom built a counter so that the television can sit on. I wallpapered behind the television so that it will give you some elegance to that space. Below that custom countertop that I built was a bookshelf, and believe it or not, that bookshelf matched perfectly, and it was the perfect size for that space. Again, since I said that my client is big on education, she has various books and things from all over, I wanted it to feel like it was at home. So I wanted to add those custom features of her books and all these collectibles that she has that she's collected throughout the world when she's traveled. So now you can see that this cabinet or this bookcase has all of these things that read a well-traveled person, and that's exactly what I wanted to do to the space. Another space was the guest bedroom. So first, there was no furniture in here, but I knew that I needed to create a dual purpose space. So she works from home quite often, so I needed to create a desk area where she can do work if she chose to do it in that room, and also a livable space or an overnight space for guests such as her family or friends. So I built a bed, well, not built it, put together a bed. I had that ordered. So, and then I wanted to do really, really inviting, luxurious kind of bedding on it. Also in that room, I wanted to add a desk, and then with that desk, I wanted to create a space that was, quite nice, and then she can display actual family photos because family is very important. So I want to make sure we had all of these different places that she can add what she loves, which is travel, spirituality. There are some inspirational quotes in there as well, and also frames for family. As you can see in this guest bathroom, I did not go literal with the butterflies, but you can see from the artwork on there, it's a play on it. It's not such in your face, it's a little bit subtle. And then this color, doesn't it remind you of the beaches? I mean, this kind of aqua color is perfect for this area. And then in addition to that, we reframed the mirror. The mirror now has a little bit more of an upscale feel. And then with adding these candles and accessories, as well as these flowers, even the soap dispensers, I mean, it gives you a spa-like effect. Now, the other thing that I've added is this console table, which I wanted to make sure that it embodied something that's really fun and fresh, something that would, carry on some of the items that are important to her. One of which there's a table book that contains the most beautiful homes in the world. And now, guess what? She's one of them, I think. And then we add these florals too that kind of bring in that butterfly effect. Like I said, we don't have to go literal with the butterflies. We can just create an atmosphere that butterflies will dwell. I totally think that she's a butterfly within herself, And then in addition to that, we have more display storage. And let me tell you, lighting is very important. So you want to make sure in this room alone, there are at least 5 or 6 sources of light, from the overhead lighting to all the lamps that we've incorporated to some of the accent lighting that we've added as well. It is very important to have lighting because it creates the mood in the room. And having that mood in the room is what welcomes guests into your home. And it makes them feel quite special. Okay, so we'll move on to the next thing. So now as we enter into the bedroom, when I first saw this bedroom, I knew that it had plenty of space to accommodate some guest chairs so that you can easily entertain. If her family's over, if the kids are over, they can come in, sit and watch, television or whatever they want to do. It's a sanctuary, if you will. So if you just want to get out of bed and then just have those moments to yourself, then this would be the perfect place to put a seating area that's private and something in the owner's suite that could be valued. So these chairs I have are swivel chairs. So if there are guests in there, such as the kids, they can swivel. I've added additional storage with the storage bench, but everything is absolutely beautiful in there. So in addition to that, I wanted to add these elegant draperies. These draperies I did mount higher because once you mount your draperies higher, it gives the illusion that the room is much bigger. So I did do that change as well. I also want to add some luxurious bedding. I did want to add also some aspects of tribal feel because I know that heritage was very important to her as well. So there are some tribal, kind of African themed designs in there. You can see a photo in the corner where, it's a little bit tribal. But heritage is very important. It's important to me. I knew it was very important to her. So I wanted to add the essence of that throughout this entire space. I also want to add the color. The color is what really makes the room because it's very soft, it's very gentle, but it feels spa-like, right? This is where that whole beach and butterfly thing comes into play once again. One space that I knew that I really wanted to transform was the patio area. I wanted the patio to be a place where my client can go out, have a cup of coffee, entertain friends, just something clean, easy, and just something that's exciting. So I wanted to carry that monochromatic pattern out into the patio. So I used grays and some natural colors, but I needed to add a pop of color. So what was important to me is add something that's fun, exciting, and just expressive. And so yellow came to mind, a bright yellow. And that was the perfect combination along with the grays, the beiges, and the blacks that I've added into that space. I also added a nice wicker chair that kind of gives you that earthy look, right? And so using those elements along with black actually is the way to go because you also have something that feels very, very natural. So that is one of my favorite spaces in this project. So as a general walkthrough through the area downstairs, you can see that I add new storage spaces. Also, I created that butterfly effect by adding elements that attract butterflies. You don't have to go literal with adding butterflies. Just add the atmosphere that a butterfly would dwell, right? So adding these flowers and these colors and things, when you think of butterflies, you think of meadows and gardens and things like that, which are very tranquil places, places that you can relax, right? So that's what I wanted to do, is add the essence of that. As far as the beaches, I wanted to make sure that I add the color palette. You're talking about sand, that's in the monochromatic colors of the sofas and the chairs and things like that. And then you also have the watercolor, which is in that cabinet, which is kind of an aqua teal color. And then in addition to that, you kind of have rocks and shells that you see on the beaches, which is represented in the gray tones that you see throughout the space. So again, you don't have to go literal with the concept. You can just kind of go, what is you can create a theme, an atmosphere that embraces these things. The drapes are so dramatic. They go all the way up to the ceiling, and that is superb. I wanted to make sure that I add elements that that would add comfort, visual comfort, because once you walk into the home, you want to feel invited. So adding these tapestries on the wall, also adding these throws on the sofas, also the color, also just the form of the wood, the way that the wood's in the space. All of those things really make a difference. So as I go throughout the entire home, so there were other things that I needed to do as well. So I wanted to make sure that the kitchen was fun and fresh, right? I wanted to add some lighter elements to the dark countertop. So I specifically placed these items just to give it a more elegant feel, right? So I had these beautiful canisters that I brought in, and also I wanted to bring in like things such as some cookbooks and usable items, some wood spoons, because like I said, I do like to add natural elements into a space. Okay, so that is pretty much the inside space. So I think what I'm ready for now is the reveal. So she is coming soon, and now it's almost time for that reveal. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how it all comes together. I think she's gonna love it. By the way, adding or replacing a decorative knob on a piece of furniture is certainly a way to transform it. Remember that the details always matter. Now is reveal day, and I thought I'd jazz it up a little bit. And this is kind of my reveal day uniform, if you will. You know, of course he designs OLC, and this is the t-shirt that I normally wear. But anyway, so it's reveal day. And so we all jazzed up now. And so now I am just waiting for the opportunity for her to come see the space. So I always arrive a little bit early, just so that I can set out all the things that I need. So I like to put out some danishes, some cupcakes and things like that. So usually people bring people, but of course she has such a busy life, and she was so excited to get there, and I was so excited to be there to present everything to her. So of course I kind of go around and I need to light candles, and I need to make sure that everything is in place. Sometimes I do fresh flowers and things like that, just to make the space feel a little bit more special and is well received once you walk in the door. So, so here it is, the reveal day, day 4. And I've accomplished quite a bit over this time. And so we've put furniture together, I've done the painting, I've had deliveries, I've put out accessories, I had assistants to help me put out things. All these things are going on within a 4-day period. And I have to, let me tell you, there was a terrible storm during that time. So during the time I'm driving and doing all these deliveries and unpacking and things, it was a storm, rainstorm. It was crazy. But let me tell you, that did not stop the show, because the show must go on. We must make our deadlines. We must do what we need to do. So anyway, so it's reveal day, and I am so happy. I am so anxious, and I know that she is too, because she gives me a call. It says that she's maybe 10 or 15 minutes away. And so at that point I said, I need to film this, because I need for everyone to see her reaction, because I knew without a doubt this was something. No, I take that back. I'm never that confident, because you just never know. But I felt like the work has been done, and I felt like I have done it all, and there's no more that I can do. So once you have that, you just anticipate and wait to see what the final reaction, and then you can only hope that everything is right on par or exceeds par. And I think that this project absolutely did. So anyway, so she is on her way. I am looking out the window. I'm waiting for every move. I added these planters outside as a special welcome type thing. So, and then they had new fresh flowers in them as well. So she approached, and immediately this is what happened.
Oh my word!
There it is. There it is.
Oh my God! Oh,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful!
So you. She was over the moon excited, and I felt like she would be. I sent her daughter a preview, just some of the video and some of the pictures that I had taken, you know, throughout the process. And she already knew that her mom would lose her mind, and lose her mind she did. Oh my God. It was such a special day, and this is what brings me the joy. This is what keeps me going. This is what keeps me working, because design changes people's lives. Is a transformation. And my motto here at He Designs is design is not just about paint, furniture, and accessories. Design can change your way of living to ultimately change your way of life. Because as you're living through these things, you can live under whatever conditions you're currently in. I mean, that's just living. But life is about a new perspective, new ideas, new translations, new experiences, new travel. I mean, it's all these new things. That is life, and that is why we're here, to experience life. And I think that that is what design does for people. is that they give you a whole new experience of life. So anyway, so this is basically the end of this presentation. So I just wanted to make sure that you had a deeper dive and a deeper look into what I do on a daily basis to make people's dreams come true. So again, this is Howard Eason. This is Howard Eason, and I am He Designs. And he is because he designs and not necessarily me. All right, I hope you take care, and hopefully we'll do more of this. Hopefully, I just have to get, maybe I should get a camera person, you know, but hopefully I'll do a little bit more of this and I'll record this and you'll see a little bit more. So until next time, I will talk to you soon. All right, bye now.